ground. Folks, guys, I am on the way to an existing customer. As you see here, we came out here a year ago for the first time, and it turned out to be a fiasco, guys. We came out here last winter for a no heat call. Cold air was blowing out the vents, and we found all the wires tangled up inside and outside. I think we found the reversing valve bypassed outside. It was a mess. But guys, making a long story short, we fixed the wires and we got the heat to work last winter. Unfortunately, we couldn't test the AC. It was like 20 degrees outside that day, guys. But what we did was we recommended this customer to get maintenance. Well, we recommended this customer to get a checkup in the spring. And we reached out a handful of times and this customer never answered back. So at this point, like I said, we waited for her to contact us back, and that's surely what happened yesterday. She called us back yesterday, and then she goes, yeah, the heat was working last year. We really didn't need the AC over the summer, and now the heat is blowing out cold air again. Guys, I don't know what to do with that information. I think this might ultimately lead to her having to replace that heat pump. Who knows what we find, but guys, let's go take a look. I'll see y'all when I get there. All right, guys. I just turned my thermostat on. I gotta move some stuff out the way. I'll be back. Alright guys, I know they got a high heat pump outside. What is this, a 2-ton air handler? Is this a 2014? And like I said they didn't use the AC. Which I don't know how true that is. But guys, I got the heat on and I'm only getting 70 degrees, 69 degrees out the vents. Tell you what, let's go outside and I gotta get my tool bag. I'll be back. Alright guys, this is our heat pump, and as you see right now it's about 20 degrees outside, so I'm not surprised about the ice on the coil as long as it's not excessive. And sure enough, we got a 2-ton 11-year-old heat pump. This is 410A. Yep, this is 410A. Hey guys, look at this. My red light is on, green light is off. That's not good. That means this unit is off on low pressure. Now you guys heard me say this before with heat pumps, and this is what we recommended the last time we came out here. We recommend getting this unit checked in the summer. We have no idea how this unit works in the summer because this is the second time in a row we came out here when it's 20 degrees outside, guys. At this point, I don't know. I could throw my gauges on, but I got a feeling that this unit is flat on charge. But guys, what I'm gonna do, they do have electric backup. I'm gonna turn the thermostat to emergency heat. I wanna see what the temperature is coming out the vents with the emergency heat, because I got a feeling this unit is flat on charge if I had to put money on it. And remember, last time we came out, all the wires were jumped out and we had to do the whole fiasco. But it's not going to take us this much time now since we already have somewhat of a history here with this unit. But guys, I'm going to keep my tool bag out. All I need is my thermometer. Let's go outside. All right, guys. Right now, I got this on auxiliary. And I'm only getting 71. And I'm not surprised because even when I got here, for you guys that didn't know, with heat pumps with electric backup, eventually If the thermostat is calling and the heat pump can't satisfy the temperature, automatically my electric heat should be on. And if the electric heat was on, right now the room temperature is 58 up there. If my electric heat was on, there's no way I would be at 71 degrees coming out the vents. And guys, putting two and two together, I didn't have much faith in the system. I think the electric heat was disconnected when I came out here last year, because is this worth screwing around with? Probably not. At this point, I think replacing the system is going to be the best bet here. But guys, tell you what, let me button up the outside unit. I'll be right back. Alright guys, real quick. I just came from outside. I had to throw my gauges on for a quick second. The unit is still off on low pressure, but I just still wanted to see if I had any refrigerant inside the system. Standard pressure with the unit off, of course, I'm at like 20 psi on both sides. Now the customer did say that no one came out here after we came out here last fall, but no doubt about it, the unit does have a refrigerant leak somewhere. But last year it was working with the low pressure switch and high pressure switch hooked up. But besides that, guys, my electric heat is hooked up here, and I'm only getting 71 degrees coming out the vents. What I think is going on is maybe we have a combination issue. Maybe the electric heat, one of the coils burnt out, so now this electric heat is running, but it's not at full capacity. The only thing we know is with electric heat, guys, if this electric heat strip is drawing amps, we gotta assume that it's working, because it's not tripping breakers, and most importantly, it's not like we're not getting an amp draw. But if we're not getting warm air coming out the vents by the electric heat strip running itself, then we gotta assume that something's going on in that circuit with the heating coils. But yeah guys, just to get a customer a quote, I mean, we could quote them on a new 10 kW electric heat kit and also doing a leak check, but it's up to them what they want to do. I'm also going to recommend replacing the system as well. But I'll tell you what guys, let me put the door back on. I got to put the door back on outside too, and I got to call the supply house and get the proposal together. Let me get this going. I'll be back. What's up guys, I just got out of that call. We gave the customer the price of repairs and replacement. She wants to get it replaced. She did ask us about doing a leak check, but guys, once again, the last time we came out here, we recommended a follow-up in the spring to make sure the AC is working, but that time came and went. At this point, the customer thought about getting a leak check done, but she knows that that heat pump's already past 10 years old, and she just doesn't want the issues again. She actually tried calling the company that she called before us, but I don't know if something happened between the guy that cut the wires and her. But like I said, she basically said that she thought that, you know, they sabotaged the unit before we came out there, since we had to fix the wires. But I told her, I mean, what's done is done, you know. Do I wish, you know, we would have came out there before the wires got cut? Yeah, but like at that point, this is like a different situation. Since I know we fixed the wires last year and everything is connected now, and it's giving us a totally different issue, we have to treat this like a totally different situation, you know. So I gave her, like I said, the assurance that, like I said, at this point, you know, what's done is done, but now we have to figure out if it's worth replacing that electric heat kit and also doing a leak check on the exact same system. At this point, you know, due to the age, you know, the customer just chose to just, you know, get the unit replaced. But guys, I'm pretty sure we might come back out here next week, pending, like I said, finance, and once she gets approved, then like I said, we can rock and roll. But guys, I gotta head to my next call. Keep rocking and rolling. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.